tanks and the government for hiring a combat site. Lester wasn't coming in a hurry with the Furies breathing down your neck. Team reporters grapple Trump, get the ground, look at that low plane, fine. Then overflow, population corner, blue, but it'll do. Series 7, world, in your own need, listen to your heartbeat. Tell me that the Reds are in the reverend with the right. You patriotic, snap, fight right. I'm feeling pretty psyched. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine. 6 o'clock TV hour, looking at foreign tower session, Marie, turn, listen to yourself, turn like a mini uniform, my book, burning, bright, letting every motive escalating, out of mobile, incinerate, light of motive, light of kettle, step down, watch your heel, crush, all this means no fear, cavalier, renegade, steer clear, tournament of lies, to offer me solutions and offer me alternatives, and I decline. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine. The other night I took the fine, got her nail, took the fine, Mount Saying, in a light lantern, Bernstein lantern, Fresno, plenty, Lisa, Mr. Becky, birthday party, cheesecake, a jelly bean, boom. Patriotic, slam, close, next, set it right. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine. Oh, it's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine.
Yes, welcome, Doomsters, realists we should say, and everyone else. It is music for the end of the world here on 93.7 Edge FM, and of course you have me once again, Chris, and I'm joined once again by the lovely Cass. Hi, Cass.
Good evening.
Good to have you here. Tonight we're going to talk a little bit about, we didn't get around to Damian Jackson's article too much last week, Cass, so we're going to talk...
No, we ran out of time for that one.
A little bit more about that, yeah. Solution Delusions, it's called. How omnicidal climate change responses are the enemy that we should be fighting. And he's got some interesting things to say about that. We have spoke a little bit about it last week, but we didn't get through the whole thing. Not to mention a few other things. I would like to give a shout out to a new book by Professor Kate Booth, who is one of the co-founders of Just Collapse. That's one word, down in Tasmania. If you are interested, you can Google Just Collapse and they'll take you to their website, which is a really, really good website. It's got a lot of information, not just about what's happening, but about things that we can do. Well, you know, ideas about.
Yeah, no. That's what we want to talk about.
Yeah. And Kate has a new book out called, I think it's called In Collapse. And it's a great book. And this is a what do you call it? A little quick quote from part of the book, Cass, because she's into insurance and stuff like that. So it says, to be insured, you generally need 4 things, right? Money, of course, an insurable asset, something to insure, the trust of an insurer, so a company that was willing to insure you, and a cultural understanding of the value of insurance. Because, Kate writes, we're heading for an uninsurable future. And these kinds of, and we've seen it already, Cass, like a lot of people in Australia now, if you have a house which is, you know, where the beach is being swept away, you can't get insurance there. If you live, I'm sure a lot of places around Margo and places where they have the huge bushfires, they would not be able to get insurance for fires. So she says, we're heading for an uninsurable future. And she says, these kinds of proclamations can create a sense of unease or panic. Some may look to powerful, money-laden insurers for a solution, as it seems as though it's in their interests that the future remains insurable, right? Otherwise they're not making. They haven't got a business.
The purpose.
Yet most of the world, and this is the interesting part, has never had insurance in the form that we understand it in the modern West. So most people, like the majority of the 8.3 billion people, or whatever it is, Cass,
Yeah,
most
of
people
course, they're not.
rely
part
on
of the
networks
world.
of care, on reciprocity, what's that word, Cass?
Oh no, I can't.
You can't say it either. Anyway, it's what
comes
you do
from
something I just
reciprocal.
when faced with hard times, of course, and not on private. They don't rely on private insurance, meaning that an uninsurable future, as people in the West are keen to say, is only a problem for the minority world,
It's a first.
which is
world
basically
problem.
those who are well off and tend to be white. There's way more people who don't have insurance than do have insurance. So yes, In Collapse it's called. If you go to the Just Collapse website, I'm sure there will be a link somehow or other where you could get a copy of the book. And I think Kate said that a free copy is coming out online, like a digital copy.
Oh, okay.
But I want to have a hard copy.
Definitely,
I like
yeah.
to have a hard
And
copy.
definitely check the website anyway.
But anyway, check the
Just
website,
Collapse
Just
site.
Collapse. It's a really, really good book. It's well worth the read. I haven't read the whole book. I've just read excerpts from it. Music-wise, Cass. Oh, sorry. I said we're speaking about Damian Jackson's
Yes.
article, aren't we?
Yep.
Music-wise, well, we've got a very eclectic section here. I mean, and I don't know. I've got too many songs as normal. But I will be playing some Rose Betts. Have you heard of her before, Cass?
I don't think I
haven't.
have.
No. I'll probably try and fit in a Sifton Stevens because we haven't played Sifton Stevens much, and I do like Sifton. And then we're actually going to have a very old song from the 60s, 63 I think this is. We might have this one right now. This is by Leslie Gore. Have you heard of her, Cass?
I do know that name.
Oh,
but
really?
I do.
I've never heard of
something
her.
familiar about that name.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't heard of her. Anyway, Leslie Gore is her name, and she sang this song in 1963. Dusty Springfield, who I have heard of, and you probably have too, recorded the same song in 1964. But this is the original, and I'm sure you'll recognise it. You Don't Own Me by Leslie Gore.
You don't own me. I'm not just one of your many toys. You don't own me. Don't say I can't go with other boys. And don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what to say. And please, when I go out with you, don't put me on display, 'cause you don't own me. Don't try to change me in any way. You don't own me. Don't tie me down, 'cause I'd never stay. I don't tell you what to say. I don't tell you what to do. So just let me be myself. That's all I ask of you. I'm young and I love to be young. I'm free and I love to be free. To live my life the way I want. To say
Yes, you recognise that song, Cass?
I certainly do.
Yeah. That's the original. And believe it or not, Joan and Jett did a cover of that song.
Oh, did she?
Joan
A
Jett,
little rock and roll version.
Well, it's pretty similar. It's a little bit heavier, but yeah, not super rock. Okay, now it is time, people, once again, for some very important announcements from our sponsor.
If you want the SP on spare parts, see the experienced team at Parts for Bega. It's the place to lob if you've lost a nut or a knob, or call 64925212. Your Parts for store is a candy shop and more for the motoring enthusiast. There's parts galore at your local Parts for store. Parts for Bega is a proud sponsor of 93.7 Edge FM.
Do you need help with your tax return this year? Do you run a business or have a rental property? My name is Nick Benson and I'm a registered tax agent and Xero certified advisor, and I'd love to help you meet your tax obligations and get the best possible refund. Individuals, sole traders, businesses and even multiple years are no problem. Give me, Nick, a call on 0494 138 552 and LB Tax is proud to support your local community radio station, Edge FM.
Thank you, dear sponsors. Very, very important to us here at 93.7 Edge FM. Okay. Cass, I just wanted to read this little, it's basically just a little post, which I think really is quite salient and points to the whole reason why we are so stuffed about this whole what would you call it, anthropocentrism, like being fixated on humans. So this person says, we've reached a point in man-made environmental collapse where again and again you see articles everywhere about, can we save mankind? How do we do it? Will humans go extinct? This person would like to gently point out that seeing humans as the end-all and be-all of everything is in fact the thinking that has driven us to the edge of extinction. You want to save humanity? Then you need to ask a completely different kind of question, Cass. You need to ask, can we save the insects that we've been waging chemical warfare on for decades? Because they're the foundation of terrestrial food chains. Can we save the plankton in the oceans, which is decreasing at an alarming rate? Can we save the coral reefs, the kelp forests, which are needed to support all life in the sea? Can we save jungles, the Amazon, forests? Can we save the amphibians? Can we save the songbirds? Because, and this might come to a shock to some of you people who don't appreciate what the reality is, but life on Earth does not need humanity to survive. In fact, I would say, Cass, life on Earth would be a great deal better without humanity. But humanity needs life on Earth to survive. That's what people miss.
That's such an interesting point, isn't it?
As long as we keep asking, how can we save humanity, the answer is going to be no. A resounding no. It's the wrong question. It's because of this anthropocentric view of, which has sort of started, I suppose it started back in the 1800s, would you say? Or, 1700s maybe. Where humans are separate from nature, above nature in a way.
Yeah, it'd be interesting when people started to sort of think in that way. I mean, I would have thought it would have been, around the time of the Industrial Revolution, where it just became like a fixation with growth. But as you're saying,
I think it was early. I think the church has got a lot to do with it.
I think religion most probably definitely played a big part.
I mean, yeah. Anyway, that's what we should be asking. How can we save everything else? Because without them, well, we're the scrap heap. I mean, we know we're the scrap heap, but, we can try and mitigate some things. So I just thought I'd do that little blurb. Now, the other thing that I wanted to quickly say, we all know of the Orange Man and this insane waging war on a completely innocent country, Iran, who did nothing wrong. Apparently they're terrorists, although, who's doing all the killing. they were going to have a nuclear weapon. No, they weren't. I mean, the International Atomic Agency, all the different international agencies were saying no. There's no. In fact, the Ayatollah that they killed, the Khomeini, he was dead set against nuclear weapons. Of course, how do you think Iran might be feeling now about nuclear weapons, Cass?
Yes, well, of course, as we know, all around the world, that everyone
Who else?
scrambling for
When they
them.
see what Israel and America do, who thinks, nah, I'm not going to have nuclear weapons. I don't need them. Yeah. Anyway, since this insane, crazy, illegal war being waged by us in the West, I mean, we are active participants in it. I'm looking at price increases since the start of the war, which is, let's say, the 28th of February. Okay? Up until the 25th of July. Okay? So it's pretty close, a few days out. Price increases since the start of the Iran war. So wheat has gone up 15%, apparently. These are global prices. Palm oil, 17%. Cotton's gone up 22%. Phosphate's gone up 26%. Rice has gone up 35%.
Wow, that's a big one, isn't it?
Same with crude oil. Brent crude has gone up 35%. Gasoline's gone up 38%. Diesel, of course, has gone up 40%. Jet fuel's gone up 54%. Heating oil's gone up 63%. And European natural gas, because remember, someone blew up that pipeline. People were saying it was the Russians, but why would the Russians blow up a pipeline they were using to get money to sell to the Europeans? Obviously, it wasn't them. European natural gas has gone up 98%, Cass. But the big one, which has gone up 146%.
What's that?
Sulphur.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah. And sulphur is needed to make sulphuric acid, which is used in a whole bunch of mining processes, a whole bunch of manufacturing processes. Like, it is super, super needed. It's gone up 146%. And of course, that will put...
Of course. I mean, so all of those increases
is all
are
passed along the
trickling
line
down, of
in the whole chain of everything. And yeah. So thank you, Orange Man. Thank you, all you warmongers. Yeah. And what do you notice, Cass, about all the warmongers? What type of people, like, if you had to sort of classify them as a group, what are they? Basically, they're middle-aged or older, white Western men, aren't they? That's it. They're doing all the damage. Yeah. All right, time for another song. Yes, Cass is giving me the wind-up. We need another song. All right. Rose Betts, Cass. I'm going to play her. Irish Eyes.
Oh, that's a good title.
Yes.
I like the sound of that.
Mm-hmm. I've never heard of her before, but someone asked me, oh, can you play a Rose Betts song? Okay, I'll play Irish. In fact, I think it might have been Hugo. This is a shout-out to Hugo then. Rose Bett with Irish Eyes.
My mother says I have Irish eyes, Irish eyes, Irish eyes. My mother says I have Irish eyes. They go ever so blue under stormy skies, but they're never so blue as when I let them cry. My father says I have English hair, English hair, English hair. Brown like the bark of an oak somewhere, like the bed of a lake where the hemlock grows, like the thorn in the stem of an English rose. I'm a map of the world and the ones before, 1 foot in sea and 1 on shore. Every step, every hope along high. I'm a map of them all with my Irish eyes. My nana says I have traveling feet, traveling feet, traveling feet. Slippers for princesses don't fit me, but I dance to my own drum bright and bold, and my traveling feet always get me home. My sister says I have a restless soul, restless soul, restless soul. Easy to catch, but I'm hard to hold, like a song on the wind that you caught one day. I get under your skin, then I step away. I'm a map of the world and the ones before, 1 foot in sea and 1 on shore. Every step, with my Irish eyes.
Ah, what did you think of that, Cass?
I loved that.
That's
I
nice,
loved the
isn't it?
voice and loved the song.
It's always
and
good to
Yeah.
discover a new artist.
Yeah, absolutely. I just did a little quick Google.
Oh, yes.
To see where she was from. So she's English,
Ah, okay.
and I think this song was from 2023. A release from 2023.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like her. I'd definitely listen to more of her music and see what else. she's
Oh,
got.
yeah. We'll play some more songs of hers in the coming weeks. Okay. Now, before we get to Damian Jackson's article, I've got one last little blurb to say, and this is about the heat. Now, you may have noticed, Cass, that it has been getting pretty hot in parts of the world.
Absolutely, isn't it? Horrific, the fires.
Even in Australia, like just the other day, was it 2 days ago, 3 days ago? Sitting out, I think it was at 2:30 maybe, in the sunshine. My grandkids running around naked. I was sitting in a singlet in the middle of winter. Unbelievable.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
I think it was 23
Crazy
degrees.
temperatures.
For those people who aren't in the Bega Valley, 23 degrees in the middle of winter is a bit strange. I mean, the morning's cold enough, but by 9:30 in the sun, it's warmed up, baby. Yeah. Anyway, here is and of course, I mean, let's not forget the poor people over in, well, where not, but, Spain, France, Scotland. Wildfires again in Scotland. I remember last year they had wildfires in Scotland. Do they even have forests in Scotland? I thought they just had gorse bushes and the heath and, the moors. But, yeah. Canada, USA's got massive bushfires. While the World Cup was on too, they were still having fires. Everywhere. Global warming. Well, here's
I
one
saw-
though. Yes?
I just want to say, just while you're saying about the heat, though, actually, I saw something else today in one of the news feeds, which was talking about, so while you've got all those fires going, that whole areas of Asia have been inundated with rain, and
Yes.
everything's just been washed away. So you've got this severe flooding. We're not just talking about normal floods.
No,
We're
no.
talking about really
Super duper floods.
severe floods. So everything, like as people had been predicting,
yes.
everything is just getting
Worse.
more intense. You're getting more frequent. And
More frequent,
yeah,
more
damaging.
intense, and over larger areas, and what do you call it? In more places at once, at
Yeah.
the same time.
Yep, which means it's very hard to to respond to. Let alone the fact that the amount of money or the budgets of these sort of emergency areas that just don't. It's not
That's right.
multiple call outs, multiple
Yeah.
times in the year.
And this is just for, like when you look at, when you watch the news and they're talking about Spain fires or France or over in Canada or the US, they don't mention much of of the developing world, like sub-Saharan Africa, which has sort of been in collapse really, like feeling collapse quite heavily for years. Like this is just the countries that the West is interested in. But here's something else about the heat, Cass, is what I want to tell you about. This is from the BBC, and they had an article titled "Africa's Camels Are Dying from Extreme Heat as Temperatures Soar." So it says even camels can't cope. Africa's ships of the desert hit by rising temperatures. Even the planet's most resilient desert survivors have started succumbing to extreme heat. Experts say it's like nothing we've ever seen. So for centuries, camels, of course, Cass, have been celebrated as the ultimate ships of the desert, renowned for their ability to survive in arid environments too harsh for almost any other species. However, an escalating climate crisis in North Africa and the Horn of Africa is pushing these evolutionary marvels past their biological limits. In regions like Ethiopia's scorching Afar Desert, where summer temperatures frequently exceed 50 degrees Celsius.
That's pretty hot.
It's very hot. Herders are witnessing unprecedented levels of suffering amongst their herds. Ali Umar, a veteran local camel herder, recently reported losing 8 calves in a single month to the unrelenting heat. He described a horrifying reality where the animals suffer from blistered feet, watery eyes, and the sand itself becomes so intensely hot that it burns their skin and singes their hair as they rest. I mean,
Wow, that's
how hot is that?
extreme temperatures.
And this
isn't it?
crisis, they say, is not an isolated tragedy. It represents a systemic threat to the ecological and economic stability of communities that rely on camels for transport or milk or meat. Particularly North and East Africa are home to approximately 80% of the world's dromedary camel population. And as traditional grazing areas dry up, pastoralist families are facing catastrophic losses. The scientists and animal welfare experts warn that prolonged temperatures above the camel's comfort threshold compromise their immune systems, leaving them highly vulnerable to dehydration, disease and death. With even the hardiest desert species struggling to survive, researchers are urging immediate interventions such as strategic water distribution, emergency veterinary care, to prevent a total collapse of the region's agricultural backbone. That's the camels.
That's pretty severe.
Yeah, it is very, very severe. Oh, yeah, because it's getting pretty hot. Okay, one more song, and then we will be getting on to Damian Jackson's article. But before we do, let's have some more messages from our lovely sponsors.
Are you looking for a quality new or used car? You can't go past the South Coast's premium motor dealers, Rondoyle Motors and Eden Mazda, at 113 Princes Highway, Eden. They are dealers for Mazda, Isuzu and Nissan, as well as having a great range of quality used cars and full workshop and parts facilities. Rondoyle Motors and Eden Mazda are well known for their outstanding customer service and excellent workshop. Give them a call on 64961 420 or check out the website at rondoylemotors.com.au. Rondoyle Motors and Eden Mazda are sponsors of 93.7 Edge FM.
Tathra Tyres and Auto have been servicing motor vehicles in Tathra since 1993. Ron, Paddy and Matt are proud supporters of Bega's community radio station 93.7 Edge FM.
Thank you, dear sponsors. Okay, you're listening to Music for the End of the World here on 93.7 Edge FM, the community radio for the Bega Valley. And you are joined by myself, Chris, and of course, Cass. And Cass, yes, we are putting on another song before we get to Damian Jackson's article. And we're going to do a Sufjan Stevens song from his Come On Feel the Illinois, the album, which is a great album. It has Chicago on it and a whole bunch of other ones. This one, of course, is Casimir Pulaski Day. I don't know who Casimir Pulaski is. Obviously an American of some renown, maybe? Cass will be finding out about that during the song. Anyway, here it is, Sufjan Stevens.
2, 3, 4. Goldenrod and the 4-H stone, the things I brought you when I found out you had cancer of the bone. Your father cried on the telephone, and he drove his car into the Navy Yard just to prove that he was sorry. In the morning, through the window shade, when the light pressed up against your shoulder blade, I could see what you were reading. All the glory that the Lord has made, and the complications you could do without, when I kissed you on the mouth. Tuesday night at the Bible study, we lift our hands and pray over your body, but nothing ever happens. I remember at Michael's house in the living room when you kissed my neck and I almost touched your blouse. In the morning at the top of the stairs when your father found out what we did that night and you told me you were scared. All the glory when you ran outside with your shirt tucked in and your shoes untied and you told me not to follow you. Sunday night when I clean the house, I find the card where you wrote it out with the pictures of your mother. On the floor at the Great Divide with my shirt tucked in and my shoes untied, I am crying in the bathroom. In the morning when you finally go and the nurse runs in with her head hung low and the cardinal hits the window. In the morning in the winter shade on the 1st of March on the holiday, I thought I saw you breathing. All the glory that the Lord has made and the complications when I see his face in the morning in the window. All the glory when he took our place, but he took my shoulders and he shook my face, and he takes and he takes and he takes.
The lovely Sufjan Stevens with Casimir Pulaski Day. And who is Casimir Pulaski, Cass?
So, of course, had to do a little bit of a quick research on that. But Casimir Pulaski was born in Poland in 1745. So he's a historical figure. He's known as the father of the American cavalry for his crucial military service during the American Revolutionary War. He saved the life of George Washington during the 1777 Battle of Brandywine. and was fatally wounded at the siege of Savannah in October 1779.
Oh, there
and
we
so
go.
they have a public holiday in Illinois in honour.
Aha.
In
Hence
honour of him.
the name of the song on Sufjan's title, Come On Feel the Noise, Illinois. Come on, Feel Illinois, yeah. Oh, excellent. All right. Music for the End of the World. And we are finally getting on to Damian Jackson's article. He's on Substack. I recommend anyone who's interested in this sort of in this subject to give him a look. Solution Delusions, he has written, and we spoke a little bit about it last week, but not that much. How omnicidal climate change responses are the enemy that we should be fighting. That's what we should be looking at. And, of course, he starts off with a cartoon. Did I do this cartoon last week? A picture of a huge, massive bushfire with climate change written in the flames. And then one man there with the words, our response so far. And he's got a little bucket, you make sandcastles from? And he's throwing it onto the inferno.
That is pretty accurate, isn't it, on
That's
how
about it.
the world is dealing
That's about it.
with the crisis.
As Damien writes, he says, it's more than 10 years now since the Paris Climate Agreement in 2015, and humanity remains totally unprepared for the cataclysmic consequences of accelerating climate change. In fact, he says, our efforts to respond meaningfully have gone backwards. There's evidence of it everywhere, of increasing collapse-threatening risks that's all being ignored by governments, corporations, and a global media transfixed by a chaotic circus of brutal geopolitics. So at the time of this writing, Donald Trump's at war in Iran, and no one is facing up to way more dangerous climate threats hurtling towards us way faster than expected. No one. And it's not to be clear, Damien goes on, as if those with any influence don't know. Because in advance of their January 2026 meeting at Davos,
Yeah, and I think we talked about the Davos meeting.
where all the attention
last
was on
week.
Trump's threats to Greenland, the World Economic Forum, the WEF, published their updated assessment of the threats facing humanity. And they got 1,300 leading experts from academia, business, government, and wider society for the task. None of them were climate doomers. And their conclusion was the most serious global problems in just 10 years will be extreme weather, critical changes to Earth systems, and ecosystem collapse. That's the people at Davos, which is probably one of the most conservative.
Conservative think tanky.
Yes. I mean, it's the rich and powerful. They're pretty conservative. There are a few brave scientists brave enough to talk publicly about what's happening. Like, I don't know, mentioned Klaus Richter, president of the German Physics Society, or Frank Botcher, head of the German Meteorological Service, who warned last year in September that we're heading towards 3 degrees Celsius above the pre-industrial average by 2050, at least. And they base this conclusion on simple calculations of the observable speed of change and the fact that there was no reason, including war, to expect this to slow down. And I can't see any reason for it to slow down.
No,
Cass.
and as you said, you've got the fact that you've got the wars going on. That's obviously releasing more CO2, and all of these bushfires, which is obviously your prime concern is human safety and life, but that's also releasing massive amounts of CO2. So all of these things are compounded, aren't they? They're just sort
That's
of
right.
You've got the loops, the climate loops that we're sort of getting caught in, and then we keep throwing more fuel on the fire. So
And no serious scientist has ever come out and said that the impacts of 3 degrees Celsius
what they are
by
what does that
2050
mean?
could be manageable or even survivable
Yeah.
for billions of us.
Yeah.
No one. I mean, the Paris Agreement back then in 2015 was it set a safe limit of 1.5 degrees by 2100. By 2100. We passed that a couple of years ago. So it's... by contrast, the UN's Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the IPCC, and most of their mainstream scientific commentators, including Michael Mann, still won't admit to their failure of their slow-paced methods. We spoke about the slow-paced methods last week. They keep going on about 2100. Maybe it might be 2 degrees above at 2100. They keep going while pretending that under 1.5 remains achievable.
Doable.
It's not. We've gone past that. And worse, Damian says that these climate minimisers, like Michael Mann and a whole bunch of others, continue to inform the blatantly inadequate solutions of governments and the green sector to our desperate climate reality. The COP30 last year played out against a backdrop of global temperatures already past 1.5. But this did not stop delegates referring to national climate targets and related net zero solutions that remain largely unchanged. And do you remember when they carved a 4-lane highway through the Amazon to get to where they were having their COP?
It's ludicrous.
It is ludicrous.
You can't quite believe that you're thinking of what they
I can't
stand
believe that
for,
wasn't
that-
taken to task more. I mean, that is just like insanity. Yeah. Anyway. And the UN and most governments and the green sector still insist the transition to renewable energy is the answer. They ignore the fact that this has had no meaningful impact to date on either emissions or accelerating temperatures, and broadcast instead the myth that we're closing in on a fictional tipping point where renewables overtake fossil fuels. They always gloss over, Cass, though, the fact that this overtaking refers only to global electricity consumption, which, as per the World Energy and Climate Statistics Yearbook, accounts for only around about 20% of global energy use.
That's such an
with all the
important
rest coming
figure,
from
isn't
fossil
it?
fuels.
Yeah.
80%.
So of course.
And hang on, and they never mention, sorry, Cass, that half of even that 20% electricity is still fossil fuel driven. It's like insane.
But I think, again, it's the thing that people... I remember, I think when you were reading part of that article or giving me that information, I was unaware of that. I mean, you do get caught up in that whole, in the story or the, that's being that people are discussing. And so you think, yeah, that's right. So we have... we look at solar for this and electric cars and this and that. But exactly as you're saying, it's a really minimal 20% of our energy use. I mean, it's minimal.
Yeah. And when you look at, he's got a table here that the 20%, like he's got energy consumption from its source. So oil is like 35% or something. Coal is like almost 30%. Gas is another 20%. Then you've got hydropower, which would probably be maybe 5%. Then wind and solar, that'll probably be another 5% or so. And then biofuels and other renewables up there with a few percent. So that's the data that matters, Damian says, to greenhouse gas emissions. And it shows that 82% of global primary energy consumption was sourced from fossil fuels. Only 4% of that total came from wind and solar. Increase, that was in 2024. In 2025, it was almost 5%. So this good news of a 20% increase is what the media go with, but it's completely, I mean, it's not, it's just misrepresentation, isn't it?
I think that's what exactly, because it puts people in a situation of it's a false sense of security because people do believe.
A distortion. Like Damian says, another deliberate distortion includes the claim that renewables are close to powering most of the world energy demand. Yeah. When they say it only refers to demand for increases in the energy use. So extra
on top
of
what we're
that.
already consuming. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And even then, I mean, that looks positive, at least, okay. But renewables didn't even produce enough energy to power most of that increase. Last year.
And we haven't even taken into consideration the AI data centres.
No, that's right.
The fact that
that's right. I mean, there's more of them coming online.
It is the one thing that people are definitely... I'm hearing more about that as far as people are aware of, they need a lot of water, they need a lot of energy and space. But, yeah, that just becomes, building more of those means we're only, again...
And you mentioned EVs before, Cass. So... He writes, perhaps nothing better illustrates this whole fiction of this transition than electric vehicles, EVs. So in 2015, the world's total vehicles in operation was around 1 billion. That's like all vehicles.
Was that
right?
2015, did you say?
Nearly, and most of them, 99%, were powered by petrol or diesel. So about 1 billion. That was in 2015. In 2026... the vehicles had risen to around 1.65 billion, okay, of which around 65 million, that's 1.65 billion, out of that, which is, 1,650 million, out of that, 65 million were EVs, around 4%. So the public are duped in believing that EVs are meaningful as a response to global heating, when the truth is the sector forecasts by 2035, 2 billion cars. Most of them petrol and diesel. With at least, it says, 1.75 billion of those being fossil fuel powered. So the breathless announcements of high EV numbers refer only to sales of new vehicles in specific markets, read wealthy Western countries, and mask the truth that EVs sustain nothing except, of course, the auto industry. Business as usual, Cass. That's all it is. Another song. Okay. What do we got? I feel something. Do you feel something upbeat or a little bit more?
Upbeat sounds
Upbeat?
good. Upbeat for middle
All
of
right,
the
let's
week.
go, baby. Let's have the cars. And one of my favourites of theirs. Let's go.
She's driving away with the dim lights on. She's making a play. She can't go wrong. She never waits too long. She's winding on down on a clock machine, and she won't give up 'cause she's 17. She's a frozen fire. She's my one desire. I don't want to hold her down, don't want to break her crown. When she says, let's go, I like the night, baby. She says, I like the night, baby. She says, let's go. She's laughing inside 'cause they can't refuse. She's so beautiful now. She doesn't wear her shoes. She never likes to choose. She got wonderful eyes and a risky mouth. When I asked her before, she says she's holding it out. She's a frozen fire. She's my one desire. I don't want to hold her down, don't want to break her crown. When she says, let's go, I like the night, baby. She says, I like the night, baby. She says, let's go. I like the night, baby. She says, I like the night, baby. She says, let's go.
Yeah, let's go. The cars.
All right, you've got 9 minutes to go in.
Thank you, timekeeper. We're not going to get through a whole of Damian's article. We were going to revisit the second half of it next week because he's got some really interesting things to say. Some even more delusional solutions apart from the greenwashing, okay?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing those.
Well,
Yeah.
we've got time for a few others. So in addition to the lie of an energy transition, as we just went over, there are a growing number of other offenders, he writes, including 1, carbon dioxide removal, CDR, and carbon capture and storage, CCS. So CDR is the removal of atmospheric greenhouse gases that we've already put up there.
Yep.
And CCS, the carbon capture and storage, captures new ones. So when we're putting out, it's meant to be, puts it underground or something. They're both supposedly achievable by new technologies. But, Cass, nothing has been developed capable of doing either on a remotely meaningful scale. It is pie in the sky, baby.
And it was a little bit like when people talk about the whole water issue and everyone goes, oh, it's easy, just desalination. But if that was the solution, then obviously, you'd roll that out across all the drought-stricken countries. But, one, it's complex, and 2, it's incredibly expensive to develop. And so I presume the same with the carbon capture, is that it would, be very expensive and...
No.
Yeah, and
he writes that even the most financially invested supporters of CDR do not envisage capacity hitting more than 5 billion tonnes per annum before 2050, at least. So for context, the CDR figure claimed for 2024 was 20 million tonnes.
Wow.
They're saying 5 billion by 2050, while humanity emitted a record high 38 billion tonnes in the same year, in addition to the 1,550 billion tonnes we've added since industrialisation began. So, meanwhile, most of the equally negligible projected capacity of carbon capture and storage has already been bought up by fossil fuel companies and big tech because to offset projected increased emissions from new oil extraction and AI projects. So it's all numbers. It's just all, oh, look, I've got this. That means I can emit more. Number 2.
Yeah, that's right. Instead of actually talking about the whole goal is emit
less.
Like don't emit less. Don't worry about,
not business as usual.
Don't worry about trying to sort of
That is
compensate
correct.
For it.
The second big delusional solution is net zero itself, Cass. Because that's all you hear about, right, from politicians.
Net zero, yep.
So where carbon emissions become equal, that's what net zero is, to carbon reabsorption, right? So net zero is still cited as a solution, of course. I mean, if you listen to listen to Albanese, anyone. In spite of the energy transition and all those other CDR, CCS interventions supposed to deliver this being so inadequate. Similarly ignored here is the rapidly reducing capacity of natural carbon sinks, like we spoke about before.
Yes,
the Amazon
right, the
now
Amazon.
is a carbon emitter.
Yes.
It is not a carbon sink anymore. The Amazon. Because most of the carbon sinks are oceans or forests, most of them. But we are losing them. The third one, and I like this one, he's got a little cartoon here, carbon management. So the lucrative green space is full of consultancies with environmentally friendly names who are anything but. They include, for example, Better Earth. That sounds nice, doesn't it? Better Earth. And they employ, of course, Boris Johnson. I mean, he's a big greenie, right? And they offer their expert climate advice and assistance to the likes of the Saudi Arabian government. Oh, yes. Better Earth. I like them. The magic of marketing he's got in this cartoon, and he's got skyscrapers, he's got planes zooming through the air, he's got a nuclear power plant, he's got all this traffic, and he's got, if you just put green in front of it, suddenly it sounds nice, like green skyscrapers, or green aircraft, or green waste disposal, or green power, green cars, green packaging. Makes it sound nice, doesn't it? And this is the one that I like. I think this will be the last one because we have to wind up soon. We will continue this article next week, Doomsters. Number 4 was personal action. So ongoing exhorting of people to do their bit. As the BBC website says, could not be more misleading. People are not told that recycling packaging achieves little. It does. It's the needless consumption that has to stop, of course.
Yep.
They are not
Yes.
told that behind reusable campaigns, you know, you've heard them all before, global plastic production reaches all-time highs. We are producing more plastic than ever before, even though we seem to be recycling it. And now in the Bega Valley, they're changing the recycling rules at the tip, I noticed, Cass. I mean, jeez. They are not told that while individual action does make us feel better, take your canvas bag to the supermarket, I feel good, it makes zero difference to our trajectory, which of course is straight down off the cliff. It's like choosing the vegan option on the Titanic. Okay, Doomsters, we will continue with this article because we've got a whole bunch of other good ones here. I'm just going to leave off with the last cartoon here, which is a family sitting around a fire in a cave, looking quite unkempt, and the title is 2040, Somewhere in the Antarctic. So it's a family sitting around a little fire in a cave, and the father's saying, so anyway, with the collapse of civilization in 2035, we've got to net zero way ahead of schedule. You got to laugh. Okay, Doomsters, realists, and everyone who is just coming to the realisation, we will be back next week with music for the end of the world, right after Frank's Hidden Gems. And as I always like to say, and make sure, I said it before at the beginning, but give Professor Kate Booth's book a look. Go to Just Collapse website, have a look at it. It's really, really interesting. As I like to say, just like Just Collapse do, collapse is inevitable, but justice is not. We can still try and mitigate it and make it a little bit softer, the journey down. Other than that, of course, it's good night from me.
And it's good night from me.
Good night, Cass. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. And we're going to go out with another requested song. It's an oldie, Cass, and it has flute. It's Canned Heat. And one of my favourite songs of theirs because it's going up the country, and that's where we like to be, in the country. So we'll see you all next week, people. Here we are, Canned Heat, going up the country.
Country, baby, don't you wanna go? I'm going up the country, baby, don't you wanna go? I'm going to some place where I've never been before. I'm going where the water tastes like wine. I'm going where the water tastes like wine. We can jump in the water, stay drunk all the time. I'm gonna leave the city, got to get away. I'm gonna leave the city, got to get away. All this fussing and fighting, man, you know I sure can't stay. Now baby, back you're leaving drunk, you know we've got to leave today. Just exactly where we're going I cannot say, but we might even leave the USA. 'Cause it's a brand new